ayudarnos a nosotros en las diferentes áreas que tenemos.
What's next?
Oh,
Yes.
esa question,
Sí.
pregunta atrás.
Para Amada, cuando estabas hablando ahorita de la posición para ser coordinador y todo, I'm saying it in Spanish because Amada making statements and I just want to make sure that there is something maybe to clarify. Tú decías que que los coordinadores de conquistadores no pueden tener nada con los de guías mayores.
Con el concilio.
Con el concilio, sí, a pesar de que hay un coordinador que ustedes tienen representando los conquistadores en el concilio de guías mayores.
Esa es una función específica de la persona, pero no personas adicionales como coordinadores de área o coordinadores de specialty, ¿verdad? Cualquiera de las especialidades. No puedes tener esa función porque cuando lo necesitemos para hacer nuestras actividades, la persona pueda que tenga un conflicto porque no están coordinados los calendarios de evento, igual como aventureros. So, les digo, lo mismo ocurre con aventureros. Same thing happens with adventures, right? So we're just not calling out saying just master guides. I say this because our calendars, the ministries of adventures, ministries of Pathfinders, and ministries of Master Guide, our calendars are not coordinated. That would be so crazy to try to make sure everyone aligns to everything. And I say this because it happens, right? So the reason being, right, that if I am needing you or we are needing you, Harold needs you for logistics, or you're supporting specialty, right, in any form, and it happens to be landed on an event for adventures or for Master Guide, right? We need you to make a commitment to us. But that's very hard to do because every other organization wants you to make the commitment to them as well. So for Pathfinders, we have indicated that if you are supporting Pathfinder ministries in a leadership role, that besides the one person that we have designated as the Master Guide coordinator, other individuals can guide and instruct Master Guides because we have Master Guides being trained in our clubs. That is not what we're not saying. We're saying that you can support your local club, but know that we would like for you not to have leadership roles
Conference level
at
leadership
the council level for Master Guides or adventurers.
So really quick, one other place that we are meeting people and you can be heavily involved in your local club. You can be a club director and fill this role, which is being on one of our teams for our specific areas, logistics or activities or PBE or TLT. Being part of the planning team, if you've got some spare time and you want to be part of that, that's perfectly fine. You're not a coordinator, but you are helping a coordinator with their responsibility.
So, as part of the changes, right, through our new structure, you will see that we have now identified the concept of a team, right? And in that team, you're supporting that function alone, right? It doesn't mean that you need to commit to council meetings and all the activities that the other larger group of people will be doing, but you're supporting that function. So we have individuals that have already indicated, hey, we'd like to help out with logistics and just focus on logistics. It's just like being, I don't want to go to the church board meetings. I have people that say that to me, right? So they don't want to be in council, but they just want to support logistics, or they just want to support honors, right? They want to be part of planning honors and teaching honors. So we have that availability now. Hoy pueden hacer eso, hoy pueden decir que quieren, bajo el nuevo concepto de la nueva estructura, tenemos el concepto de equipos. Estos equipos, ¿verdad?, son específicos para una función, lo cual significa que pueden participar en sus clubes locales y ayudarnos solo en algo específico. Y eso algo específico puede ser en logística, en campamentos, en especialidades, en algo específico, y puede mantener su involucramiento y liderazgo en sus clubes locales.
A logistics piece for us here in the meeting.
Algo aquí para los que están presentes.
I understand this is a long meeting.
Sé que esto es una reunión larga.
We are not going to take a break, but if you need a break, feel free to get up, walk out, get a drink, use the restroom, whatever, come back. But we are going to keep going because we still have a lot to go through.
Y vamos a continuar, no va a haber, así que vamos a parar para un momento, pero si ustedes necesitan parar, seguir al baño, están aquí afuera, para que podamos cubrir todo el material. Sabemos que es una reunión larga. Yes.
Do you have a current area coordinator assignments?
Yes, we do have that, and that is going to be going out from Nancy. La nueva asignaciones de los coordinadores de áreas y sus clubs va a ser mandado por Nancy.
Quick question.
Back there, yes.
Referring back to the relation between coordinators and the Master Guide leadership team, I know you said that new people should not be, I guess, should only do one or the other, but as it applies to current coordinators who are currently part of the Master Guide committee, how is that going to be addressed?
Well, that's something where those they should be area coordinators, right? Because that's been a policy from before. So none of our existing area coordinators, because that's not a new policy, that's been an existing policy, should be in Master Guide or Adventure Councils.
And that's only area coordinators or also
I was going to say
special-
that was in existing, but
Okay.
now for our specialty and every other, right, for our specialty team, that is becoming a policy because we've run into that conflict.
Okay, understood, thank you.
So we need to have them transition out of those roles from their other commitments. Okay, I think I am next, right?
Yep, you're
All
next.
right. Yo soy la que me toca. So, si ustedes necesitan pararse, por favor, párense. If you need to stay and stand up and take a stretch, please do so. All right. Go ahead, next slide. You got it. All right. Okay, hemos puesto al día los formularios. Los formularios, obviamente, como habló ella ahora, right? Forms are getting updated. We have updated them. You'll see them. Nancy will be pushing them out, so you don't need to try to screenshot them because it's going to be hard to read. But los formularios se han puesto al día. Obviamente, cuando hagamos la transición al nuevo sistema, eso va a ser también puesto al día en el nuevo base de datos que estamos haciendo esa transición. So once we are up and running on the new system, obviously the forms will get also transitioned into that system, so you can do your points and all of that in the electronic system, if that's what you choose to do. Next.
This one is talking about medical form.
Yes.
Did you want to talk about that?
Medical forms, go back. So yes, on the medical form, the one highlight on this, but it's going away once we put it all online. I'm just letting you know, because we had an issue, right? The question went back, hey, should you have it in a folder individually? I say this because I go and do inspections and I run into lock cases. I have had large bins, depending on the size of the club. They're like, these are all my medical forms. I have people that have put them in manila envelopes, each individually. And I'm just going to tell you, right, that you can put them individually in a sealed envelope, but if that is your choice, but I'm going to ask you to open them. I'm going to say that you can put them, as long as you have them separated, that only your people have access, meaning the person in charge of that has access to your forms. I say that because, once again, if the form is in there, I actually have checked those forms and they were outdated, right? Because you're sealed, you never looked at them again and forgot that they weren't the updated forms. So you need to make sure that that's something that you address, right? Figure out a way that you keep it so that it's not available to the public or people that just walk into your club for that event, that they don't have access to those forms, but that you're maintaining the privacy. But once we switch to this new program, right, then it's all online, so only users will have access according to their user level. Una vez que hagamos el cambio, ¿verdad? La privacidad va a ser mantenida mucho mejor, porque cada persona va a tener acceso según sea su perfil como usuario. Okay. Pero por ahora, manténgalo si usted necesita en un recipiente o en algo individual, pero es para mantener la privacidad de las personas y su información. Yes.
I was going to say, I know we're going to put it online, but there's places that we go that doesn't have internet or spotty, so we're still going to.
You're going to have to be able to print it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't just depend on the phone.
Correct.
Correct. So will the system allow you to print the form? But the content you're only entering one, so that way, so that it matches, you can generate a printout. So, en el nuevo sistema, ¿verdad? Para tener que tener va a poder chequearlo en el internet, pero si usted necesita imprimirlo, va a poder imprimir el formulario para tenerlo, especialmente las cosas médicas, con ustedes, para cuando viajan a lugares que no hay internet. Induction form, este formulario solo para que vean que nos pusimos al día para las inducciones, pero una vez más, si tienen preguntas, déjenme saber. We updated the form, but it's not really a serious update. If you notice, I had comments and requests from directors and area coordinators, and it was just a little cleaner form, is how the data is displayed, not the points. Points do not change. Next one, or I lose next line.
Pathfinder 7.
You're going over each one? Okay, you'll see these online, no worries. Yeah, no, you'll see it. I know this meeting is long, so I'm just gonna tell
Are
you.
there major
You
updates?
there are no major updates on
Okay.
any of the forms, none.
Okay.
All right, you'll see the PDF form. There are not major updates on the forms. All right, so I'm gonna have my, no había cambios grandes en los formularios. Vean, si ustedes tienen preguntas, déjenme saber. Go.
I thought you forgot you asked me to do that.
Yeah, no, I didn't realize they had put all the slides.
I
on
took
each
that
one.
time this morning.
Yep.
Okay, so for points, we do various things throughout the year that accumulate points. If you get enough points, which is 1,000 points or 950 to 1,000, you get your highest trophy, your sweepstakes. As staff, we're kind of, points, we don't care. Your Pathfinders want trophies.
Les dejamos saber, ¿verdad? Ustedes ven los puntajes. Muchas veces nosotros, como las personas que dirigimos a los clubs, a veces decimos, ay, no nos importa mucho lo que es el puntuaje. Pero sepan de que a sus chicos sí les importa el puntuaje.
When visitors come to your
So
church
this one says
and they see a
international
trophy in
camping.
your lobby or your foyer
I didn't
area,
catch this.
they know that you have an active Pathfinder club. It's advertisement for them and it's free. Yes. Yeah.
Just note that there's a Pathfinder Camporee line there that got added that should not be there because that reused the slide.
Yeah.
So just know there is no Camporee. It's not the international Camporee this year.
It's our
the
local.
conference.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
points
Eso
are,
sepan de que esto es sobre, que no va a ser el Camporee internacional, sino el Camporee local que se está mostrando para puntuaje.
So you see the break.
And just note, right, and I say this because I get asked this, literally, I get asked this. I get asked, hey, is this the regional Camporee, Pastor Sharon Camporee, is that the one that counts at 200 points? And I'm like, hey, listen, you can have your kids go to many camps. Just note that this one is the one at SBA that's happening in September. So, por si hay preguntas, ¿cuál es el Camporee que cuenta para los 200 puntos? El Camporee que cuenta es el Camporee que va a ocurrir ahora en septiembre en SBA en Chinandua.
So you see we have a breakdown what how many points you get for each event. Make note that your fare and stuff like that do not count for field trips. They have to be field trips that you do with your club at a club level, not something that's sponsored by the conference.
Ok, vean lo que estamos hablando sobre cuando las personas hacen los viajes, ¿verdad? De que no puede ser un viaje contado como cuando ustedes van a un evento de la conferencia, como hemos tenido personas que cuentan eventos de comunidad, cosas que hacen para algo que ya existía de la conferencia. Yes.
Question. If a club is going to Camporee at SBA, and then on Sunday afternoon, they decide, after everybody's gone, or even on Saturday, they decide to go to see one of the caverns, will that be considered 2 trips? Actually, that would be considered a trip to the caverns, because they're moving from the site, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. O sea, si aparte del evento, de cualquier evento, y se va a algo separado y hacer, sea comunidad, obra de la comunidad, o hacer un viaje, eso es separado. No puede ser en el mismo evento.
Is there a requirement of percentage of the club members that goes to that field trips to be counted as a field trip?
a percentage? You're asking? How many participants, right? I would have to go back and look because it will be in the director.
It is on the monthly report. I don't have it pulled up
Okay.
at the moment, but there is a detailed piece.
I don't have that form, but when you look at the monthly report, it will be there because that got updated, that language got updated for that.
Correct. Nothing's been updated on that. Nothing has been changed as far as how much of the club must participate.
I just don't have it in front of me.
So Mike, I've got a question for you.
What's that?
If club directors do not understand some of these lines, who do they connect with to understand what's going on here?
Their coordinator.
Okay. Si ustedes tienen preguntas sobre cualquier cosa de los puntuajes, ¿verdad? Ustedes tienen preguntas, hablen con su coordinador. Okay. Yo les dejo saber de que muchas veces hay preguntas, son más fáciles explicadas si su coordinador le deja saber cuánto vale cada punto. Está en los formularios de los eventos que como parte del paquete que Nancy envía, dice ahí cuánto vale cada evento y los diferentes elementos de ellos.
So two things, the percentage isn't on there, because me and Nancy have had that conversation several times about the percentage of our kids that have to go in order for it to be counted. The second part that I have a problem with is this community service part, where it now has to be performed off of church property. We have traditionally done the bags for the home insecure, and we do those bags at the church.
But do you distribute, right, do you count that in addition to the actual distribution of those, or is it just the preparation of that?
Just the preparation of it. Because community service in the language of the state of Maryland says that it just has to be work performed that benefits the community.
Right.
So having it to be off of church property.
Let's make a note and review.
Yeah, I mean,
That's an exception to the rule.
right.
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna say,
Iowa does can collection every year. We collect it at the church. That we count as our community service.
Okay.
And we've accepted that as Potomac for years. So again, it's,
We can discuss
the
any of
language
those.
is designed so that.
so just make sure that when you're indicating, you indicate for what the, the benefit would be. Don't just say we prepare bags, right, at the church. You say, hey, it was for this organization. I say that so that when Nancy reads it, right, she knows that it's for an exterior organization doing the benefit, who's receiving the benefit of the activity.
I use the same language that.
So remind them that if they've got any questions on the forms or they've got challenges, they need to send those to you and Amanda, because you all do forms.
Community service, not your church, but outside.
It's the benefit, yes, the benefit of the church. So, and I'm gonna tell you, right, so some churches, right, will have, especially some of our large churches, right, will do the collection and they'll do the gathering of the funds or things, right, from church members, right? So, let's say like, the Angel Street or like, at CPC, they collect the money from the members, right? From our church members. But the benefit of what is purchased and done with that fund is for an exterior organization, right?
So
Yeah.
basically, you don't want them mowing the church lawn for community service work.
Right.
Global Youth Day is considered
So there, this could go on as to like which ones you guys want to cover on, but I can tell you, right, that is usually when we're trying to figure out, it's like, hey, who is the beneficiary of the activity
Of
we
the
were
service.
doing, right?
Yeah.
So there are individuals. I know she left, but like at Solid Rock, they go I think once a month, they go to a shelter, right? And they do soup kitchen, right? But they Pathfinders prepare and all that stuff at the church, and then a different group goes and does the serving of all the meals and things. So, yes.
I just want to add one more thing, and if you're confused and you aren't sure, and you send Nancy an email, she does respond, and we'll tell you how to make it approved.
Yep. Yes.
In saying that, is that too much on Nancy? Should we be going to our coordinator?
Good.
I was going to say, any questions that you have, your coordinator is your first person to contact for everything. And then if they need clarification past that, they'll find the answer and get back to you.
And I say Nancy because Nancy receives the form, right?
Right.
And so what happens is she'll look at it and then she'll say, hey, what is this? And then she'll send you a message, right?
Yeah,
That's where Nancy gets involved. She receives the forms.
yeah. Let's go to our next piece.
Two questions. One, if you are like traveling to a pool to complete a basic water safety honor, does that count as an honor and a field trip?
Well, you can count it as,
Repeat the question.
the question is that if you are going to a location for the water safety honor, can you count the trip as a field trip, right?
Yes.
And then actually the honor. Yes, because you're going to. So la pregunta era de que si usted está viajando hacia otro lugar para hacer la especialidad de natación, o sea, de agua, hacer una piscina, entonces que si puede contar el viaje, y si puede contar el viaje como el viaje y también la especialidad.
And what recourse do you have if Nancy sends back your report as being rejected? What?
Then when it happens like that, right, then send it to your area coordinator to follow up with me. That's fine. I got you. Okay? So, si tienen preguntas y si Nancy les dice, tiene algún comentario sobre su formulario, por favor, mándenlo de regreso a su coordinador y déjenme saber a mí la pregunta para que yo haga la clarificación con Nancy.
Scheduling your area coordinators next.
Okay. Schedule your, schedule, I'll tell you. Scheduling the area coordinator, okay. So, we did talk about this a little bit earlier today. We did say you have the dates of events, okay? The challenge continues to be that we get asked, to come cover an event on a day that we have a council meeting, that we are at a retreat, or another conference planned event. Even PPE. I literally I get people say, it's Pathfinder Sabbath, and it's going to be blah, 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 and then you're like, hey, your area coordinator is not available, or most area coordinators are not going to be available, they're just not around because they're all going to the conference event. Okay, so you have the dates. As you plan your calendars, okay, those dates cannot be one of your dates, okay? And I am telling you that now because you got all year long, it's 4 events, right? Please, second piece of this, I don't want you as much as possible to land 2 events on the same day. We've done exceptions, and that's because some of our churches, right, rent a building, right? Like they rent a facility, and so they have limited access to their building, right? But we would like, as much as possible, for you to spread those 4 events, okay, across your year. Please don't do something, because I literally just did this just a couple of weeks ago. The club asked for the area coordinator to come for Pathfinder Day. They failed to tell us that they also were going to do an induction that afternoon. Okay? So, as much as possible, I need you to have that conversation, and I have asked our area coordinators to please engage you, right, early on about your dates, because you should be planning your full year. Yes, back there.
So with, the calendars and the challenges with, I know I've had to deal with, is it possible to use recording? And I'm not saying that it's not specifically for me, but for example, a Pathfinder Adventure a Day. Is it possible to use a recording?
Are you trying to land that event on a conference date already? Or with somebody? I'm just asking. The reason I say that is because it happens for clubs that are planning and moving their dates. Because most of us try not to land on the day.
Yeah, I've looked at some dates already. I'm also waiting for the adventurer, because it's Pathfinder Adventure. I'm also waiting for the adventurer leader who's not going to meet with her team for a couple more weeks.
So once you have your dates, right?
So
let us know. So let your coordinator know, right? And so that we can work with you.
Yeah, because the date I was actually tentatively, I had 2 dates. One of the dates was already, is a date that something is going on, so.
Yeah.
You know, but is that an option?
Well, that's good.
Work with their
Once again, work with your coordinator. And the reason I say this is because I don't want us to, if blankly everyone here goes and says, hey, I want my Pathfinder Sabbath to be virtual, that you like watch it online because I landed on your date. As much as possible, you have plenty of time to find 4 Sabbaths that you're looking at Sabbath. And if you're looking at, you know, most of the time it's never the Sunday conflict, it's a Sabbath conflict that you're landing on. 4 different things.
So one problem that we see that we have is to do a Sabbath Pathfinder Day, we have to get approval from our pastor.
Correct.
And our pastor tells us what days we are available. We don't have no control over that.
Work with your coordinator.
Work
Okay.
with your coordinator
Work with
to
your
get
coordinator.
that, okay?
Okay.
En lo mismo lo voy a decir en español, ¿verdad? De que tienen las fechas son, ya han sido publicadas para los eventos de la conferencia. Ustedes tienen 4 eventos que planificar con su coordinador. Trate lo más posible de no caer en esos 4 fechas, 4 eventos en las fechas de la conferencia. Si por fuerza mayor ustedes tienen que caer en eso, ustedes tienen que tener esa conversación con su coordinador. Por favor, no esperen hasta la semana anterior para decirme, hey, amada, necesito coordinador para este evento, porque es a último momento. I've had this, folks, I'm telling you, I get reached out, right? The week before because you've had a change of plans, things happen. Or, hey, you know what, we moved it up. We're having an event next Sabbath. I need a coordinator. Please, as much as possible, have those conversations when you're struggling and your calendar is moving with your coordinator as soon as possible. Yes?
It's due on the 30th. Your dates are due to your coordinator on the 30th of September.
Ya, si ustedes ven, ¿verdad? Necesitamos que para el 30 de septiembre ustedes también hayan hecho su calendario y puedan saber qué fechas ustedes van a elegir. You know, I'm going to tell you, work with your coordinator, right? And when I say this, it's because, you know, different coordinators have different styles for working on this. Some of them, I know that like Mike likes to put them all on a private Facebook group, right? And he posts his calendar there and say, hey, I can't be in 2 places at the same time, so if one of his other clubs already committed, right, he tries to, they all work together as a group and manage the calendar, right?
Just
And
remember that
just do that.
your coordinator does not just have your club. They have a lot of clubs. Some of our coordinators have 7, 8, 9 clubs. Okay, so that means there are a lot of dates, which causes challenges in their calendar if you don't let them know ahead of time or you change your date. That's why they need to know as soon as you know, and the earlier the better.
Last year, Kevin and I both had 7 clubs. 4 events per year per club is how many weekends we're gone for Pathfinders? 28. That does not include conference events. So when you need to get your calendar to your coordinator, they need your 4 events. They don't need the rest of it, they need those 4 key events.
Amada, the other thing is, and I'm talking here as an area coordinator also, you do not have to wait for the adventure club to have their activities for you to have your activities. I have had clubs where, no, we can't do this because the adventures aren't doing that, or the adventures are not doing anything because Pathfinders are not doing it. No. They can be done separate, they can be done together. But all is communication with your area coordinator. Because I have had situations where I have an investiture at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for Pathfinders, then adventures are staying there all the way till 7 o'clock at night for their investiture. Those kids were dead at 7 o'clock. So might as well have the same investiture at the same time.
Yeah, and this happens, right? So some of our clubs, especially it comes with adventures, right? Master Guide, sometimes that has tied, sometimes, most of the time now is adventures, right? So Our coordinators area coordinators are happy to, invest your adventures. But just remember, and I say this, okay, because I've had the question, hey, especially investiture, right? And investiture and induction, longest ceremony. Is it prescribed? What is prescribed in the ceremony? Okay, I recently went to an investiture and we lit up candles at an investiture. Lit up candles for adventures, for pathfinders, and then continue on with investing these, pathfinders and adventures. Why do I say this? It's super long meeting, right? I did talk about the attention span, right? 30 seconds. In case you did not know that. Today, adults today, and kids today. Attention span is 30 seconds, in case you did not know that. It's 30 seconds. That's why things keep changing. When you watch TV, camera angles, everything changes every 30 seconds because it's a scroll feed on Instagram. Whatever you're looking at, you just get scrolled right over 30 seconds, okay? So, please do not make your ceremonies that long. Prescribed elements are the only elements you're going to get graded on. The others are suggested. I've gotten questions. Hey, do I need to light up all of these and read? The poor kid does not memorize these things. You're asking him to read the, verbatim, to read everything for every class. Listen, get creative. Okay? How are you making these happen? I've had instead other clubs that will project things that would be associated with that, and the kid comes up and says something as a short version of this, ChatGPT, and create a shorter version of this, and then go ahead and have the kid read that. You want to have the long script, you can post it on a slide, do not have the kid read that. Okay? Should not be reading that. That manual also needs to go through ChatGPT and get updated to be more succinct, because we are covering way too long, and I say that because literally it was a 2-hour long investiture. Okay? Now I'm just saying this, like really. And I was like, well, candles, I'm an investiture. So this one, they already started it, right? Like they had it. So you have to go with it. So I say, because I see these things happen, okay? Get creative. You're asking me today, what do you need to do? Yes, we probably need to relook at that, and that's the NAD committee that needs to look at the Pathfinder manual, right? But I'm telling you, the only thing that's prescribed is what you're getting graded on. So look at your form, and you're gonna know.
Look at your form, and what's on there is what you have to include. Anything else is optional. What is in the manual is labeled as samples.
Right.
It is not a prescription.
I'm telling you. Remember, your kids don't have that attention span. Okay?
So Amada, just so that you know, Mike is handing out evaluation forms. I've got the thing on. You can keep talking, but they need to know about
it. Les dejo saber de que lo que está en el manual de los conquistadores, ¿verdad?
En las formas de evaluación.
No, cuando estamos hablando en el manual de los conquistadores, cuando lo compra de Admin Source, cuando usted ve o lo baja, ustedes recuerden, todo eso es una sugerencia de cómo hacer una ceremonia por si usted no sabe, ¿ok? Sea creativo como usted presenta los elementos. Los únicos elementos prescritos, o sea, que son necesarios, son los que están siendo puestos en el formulario que tienen puntos asociados. Alguien me dijo una vez que si algo es importante, le van a poner puntos. Lo demás es una sugerencia, ¿ok? So, téngalo eso en mente. ¿Por qué? Porque lo que usted no quiere es hacer ceremonias de 2 horas, que incluyen conquistadores y aventureros, y los pobres niños se estaban parando. En otra reunión que fui, literalmente era día de conquistador, no, era investidura, y lo hicieron a la hora del sermón, y la gente se paró y se estaba yendo. ¿Ok? You don't want to do that. I was literally, this spring, I was at an investiture. They did it during second service, and during the sermon piece, right? Like that's when they were doing the investiture. This was so long because they had so many, a thank you for this person, a thank you for that person, and it's awesome. But then visitors started to get up and go, church members started to get up and go, and at the end it was just like the parents who had to stay there because the kids were there. So I don't know that that was very beneficial. Once again, track the time. Ceremony should not be 2 hours long, okay? You gotta rethink your activities. If you want to talk about how you're going to give out investitures, how you're going to do the presentations, I've seen all kinds of things. You know, break from your mold, think outside the box. I've had people, they don't read anymore like Pathfinder's getting this honor, that honor. I've seen them post it on PowerPoints, what the kid's getting, and when they get called up, I've seen them actually very interesting. They got one club, put them all on a ribbon, okay? Like a lanyard, stapled. That way kid doesn't lose anything, right? Everything got stapled, he got crowned with a lanyard versus like, hey, I'm trying to put this on you, because we go back to the same, we've had this conversation before about like, hey, should area coordinators be grabbing the blouse to put a pin or to...
The answer is no.
No, and you shouldn't do it either, right? When I say this, like, you shouldn't do it either. That means that, please, we are in 2025, you can find ways. I always put it on, try to put it on the scarf, and I say, hey, please ensure that it matches locations like my uniform, right? But we are
So
not
know that when your
Pathfinders.
coordinators, I'm going to cut in because
Yes.
this is important. Know that your coordinators will not pin pins on the shirts of your Pathfinders during your events. They will pin them on scarves, they will pin them on sashes, they will pin them on colors, they will pin them somewhere, but they won't pin them on those pockets.
Male or female.
It doesn't matter, they won't do it. Please don't make them, and don't make it feel awkward if you call them up and then tell them they've got to do it in front of everybody. That really becomes awkward for everybody.
And if one of our coordinators actually does it, please let me know. Because that's a teaching moment, as a reminder. No coordinator should be doing that. Okay, so lo voy a decir en español. Si ustedes están haciendo el tiempo de investidura, ustedes